Coach Avon back here again. We're going to talk about energy system development, aka conditioning. All right, so we're going to go through two of them, anaerobic conditioning and then aerobic conditioning. All right, so you want to do conditioning about 3 to 4 times a week. All right, you don't want to kill yourself about every single day. All right, make sure it's quality work rather than quantity, something I've been trying to talk about throughout this series of videos. All right, so anaerobic, all right, is an energy system that thrives off of a work that's around 5 to 90 seconds of work. All right, it's more when you think of someone that's saying HIIT, high intensity interval training, that's going to be your anaerobic stuff, right? It's short bursts of time, short bursts of energy, and then a longer rest or moving on to something else, right? High intensity for short time, for a long rest. Whenever you see the program on our Sarge Athletics page, right, if it says something at 4 rounds, 30 seconds each, all right, that's anaerobic conditioning. So it's falling into that 5 to 90 second range. So 30 seconds at each station. All right, so let's say you had 4 rounds of 3 different exercises. 1 round would be getting through each one of those exercises, doing 30 seconds at each station, and then going back to the top. All right, so maybe 4 rounds of push-ups, then sit-ups, and then jumping jacks, let's just say. So you do 30 seconds of push-ups, 30 seconds of jumping jacks, or sit-ups, 30 seconds of jumping jacks. All right, so moving through each station for about 30 seconds each, and that's working that anaerobic system. And then let's say that you wanted to do something a little different, all right, something that's outside of that program at the end of your workout that you're doing at home. All right, we do a lot of the times in Sarge, we do something called a 300-yard shuttle, all right, running back and forth that 5 to 6 times. All right, so measure something out that's about 25-yard increment. So when you go down and back, that's 50 yards. All right, so you go down and back 50 yards, down and back 100. All right, and you do that 4 more times. So down and back 50, down and back 100, down and back 150, down and back 200, so on and so forth until you get to 300. So you want to keep that under 90 seconds or under about 1:15, and then add about 3 minutes of rest. All right, so you want to do something what's called a 1 to 5 work to rest ratio. So however long it takes you to do it, you want to rest 5 times the amount, or 4 to 5 times the amount of time that it took you to do it to rest. All right, so that we get that quality in there rather than the quantity. All right, making sure that we're not doing, all right, an anaerobic run the same day as we're doing an aerobic run. All right, you want to separate those, maybe 1 day anaerobic, 1 day aerobic to build off of each other. All right, so those are 2 examples of something that you can do for anaerobic. Anytime you want to keep it short and sweet and with a good amount of rest to get a lot out of it, that's anaerobic conditioning. All right, so next we're moving on to aerobic conditioning. All right, so when you feel like you're really out of breath, when you're running that long distance, running a ton of sprints at practice, you feel like you're out of breath, that's when you're working that aerobic system. All right, so aerobic is technically over or equal to 3 minutes of work. All right, when that continuous sustained effort for over 3 minutes, that's when you're working that aerobic energy system. All right, so in the program you'll see something called an AMRAP. So that falls in the aerobic category. That stands for as many reps as possible. All right, so that's without a time constraint for each round. That's when you would continuously move through the rounds for the time allotted. So let's say it's a 10-minute AMRAP of, again, talking through push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks. You do the amount of reps for push-ups, do the amount of reps for sit-ups, do the amount of reps for jumping jacks, and then keep going to the top. And keep going without any rest for 8 to 10 minutes, what it says in the program. All right, that's obviously over 3 minutes. You're working that aerobic system. You're doing a sustained amount of energy for over that time. Another example would be a 3-minute run with 3 minutes of rest. All right, so let's say you go outside, run straight with a timer for 3 minutes fast. All right, trying to sustain a pace and effort. All right, for 3 minutes, stop at that 3 minutes and rest for 3 minutes and then go again. All right, a good example would be doing 4 sets. So you're doing 12 minutes of work, 12 minutes of rest, really. So 1 set of running, 1 set of resting, right back, 4 times. All right, that would be a good workout to work your aerobic system. And last but not least is your typical just going out on a run, right? So many people want to go out on runs and go for maybe 4 or 5 miles, which is nothing really wrong with that, but as athletes, the distance traveled in game is usually not going to be over about 2.5 miles or 2 miles in game at its most extent. So how good can we be at running 1 to 2 miles? All right, so as this time goes on and you're not in a gym or you want to be outside, start with that lower mileage, maybe 1.5 miles, then get up to 2 miles and try to work to get that faster and be able to sustain the pace you want to without slowing down or hitting what we call lactate threshold, without getting so tired that your muscles can't handle it anymore. All right, So a good split during a week to do conditioning will be probably 2 days of anaerobic and then 2 days of aerobic. All right, so maybe getting out and doing these type of exercises 2 days a week, all right, and then getting out there, going for a run, doing something that is sustained amounts of pacing, sustained amounts of energy for longer than 3 minutes, about 2 days a week, all right? And that's how you build an energy system. That's how you develop those things. So by the time we're out in sports again, whatever time that may be, you're out there, you're much better than the person next to you, able to sustain a higher amount of energy, high amount of work, and do that longer than they can with a lower amount of energy, lower amount of work. And that's energy system development.